Multitasking often feels like a badge of honor in today's fast-paced world. Answering emails during meetings, scrolling through social media while eating lunch, or juggling work calls while making dinner. These habits make us feel productive. But here's the reality. Multitasking doesn't make us efficient. It makes us scattered. The human brain isn't built to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. What we call multitasking is actually task switching, rapidly moving focus from one activity to another. And every time we switch, the brain uses precious energy to reset, refocus, and recalibrate. This constant back and forth creates mental fatigue, slows down progress, and increases the chances of mistakes. Science supports this. Studies show multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. It drains your brain's energy source, oxygenated glucose, and leaves you mentally exhausted even after short periods. Worse, multitasking has been linked to temporary IQ drops. Research from the University of London found it can lower cognitive performance to levels comparable to sleep deprivation. The truth is, what feels like productivity is actually counterproductive. Multitasking isn't a strength, it's a trap. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain pays a hidden price. This phenomenon, called switching cost, refers to the mental energy required to stop one activity, refocus, and fully engage with the next. It may feel like a minor interruption, but these moments add up, draining your time and energy more than you realize. Imagine this. You're writing an important email, and your phone buzzes with a notification. You pause, glance at the screen, and respond to a message. When you return to your email, your train of thought is gone. You waste precious minutes rereading your draft to figure out where you left off. Now multiply this by dozens of distractions throughout the day. Hours slip through your fingers without you even noticing. But it's not just about lost time. Constantly shifting your focus reduces the quality of your work. Research shows that multitasking leads to more mistakes, shallower thinking, and diminished creativity. When your brain is constantly being pulled in different directions, it never has the chance to engage deeply. This robs you of the ability to tap into a state of flow, where your focus is so sharp and immersive that you're able to produce your best work effortlessly. We live in a world that's designed to steal our attention. Endless notifications, pop-ups, and demands competing for every second of your day. The truth is, the more you give in to these distractions, the harder it becomes to concentrate on what truly matters. In this age of overstimulation, learning to focus isn't just a skill, it's your superpower. In today's hyper-connected world, the rarest skill isn't intelligence, creativity, or experience. It's the ability to focus. Deep focus, often called a superpower, is about fully immersing yourself in a task without distractions pulling you away. It's the secret ingredient behind extraordinary achievements, but mastering it requires more than just willpower. It demands strategy. One of the first steps to achieving deep focus is to break free from the constant cycle of stimulation. Our brains are wired to seek novelty, which is why every ding of a notification feels irresistible. But the more we indulge, the harder it becomes to resist. The trick isn't just about silencing your phone. It's about retraining your mind to find satisfaction in sustained attention. A powerful way to do this is by embracing monotony. It may sound counterintuitive, but boredom can be your greatest ally. When you stop filling every spare moment with distractions, scrolling through social media, checking emails, or flipping through TV channels, you give your brain space to recharge. This quiet period isn't wasted time. It's where your most creative ideas and breakthroughs often emerge. Another key is to approach your tasks with intention. Before you begin, ask yourself, what's my goal? What am I trying to achieve? This simple step primes your mind for focus and gives you a sense of direction. Without clarity, your attention will naturally drift, looking for the next shiny object to latch onto.
Think of it like a garden. If you never give the plants a break, Never let the soil rest, it eventually becomes exhausted. But if you let the soil sit for a while, with no pressure, it has time to regenerate, and when you come back, you find it's full of life. Your mind works in much the same way. By stepping away from the constant demand for focus, it can recharge and prepare for more. What's fascinating is how simple it can be to create these moments. You don't need to go on a week-long retreat or completely cut yourself off from technology, though that can certainly help too. It's about giving yourself permission to zone out for a few minutes, to allow your thoughts to wander without purpose. Whether it's looking out the window during a break or taking a walk without your phone, these small pauses add up over time. The more you allow your mind to wander, the more you'll find those aha moments pop up unexpectedly throughout your day. Sometimes, the best way to focus is to not focus at all. If you think about the most successful people, artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, they all have one thing in common. They understand the value of giving their brains the time and space to wander. When you let your mind drift, you're giving it a chance to reset and recharge. And in those moments of mental stillness, the best ideas emerge. The truth is, real productivity isn't about cramming as much as possible into every minute of your day. It's about learning how to give your brain the space it needs to think deeply, make connections, and come up with creative solutions. And sometimes that means embracing the power of doing nothing. Creating mental space isn't about scheduling more time to relax. It's about embracing moments of quiet and allowing your brain to wander. It sounds simple, but in today's world, it's one of the hardest things to do. Every corner is filled with distractions, endless emails, social media updates, phone notifications. The pressure to stay on constantly can be overwhelming. But if you can manage to step away from the noise, that's where the magic lies. One of the best ways to tap into your creative mind is through a technique I call brain babbling. You might be wondering, what is brain babbling? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's giving your mind the freedom to think without judgment, without a filter. It's like allowing your thoughts to freely roam from one idea to the next, no matter how unrelated they seem. For example, let's say you're staring at your phone. Your mind might jump to thinking about how the phone was invented, and then that leads you to imagine how communication has evolved. Maybe you'll wonder about the person who invented the telephone, and from there, your thoughts drift to the concept of connection itself, how we are all linked, even across oceans. Before you know it, you're exploring new ideas about technology, relationships, and how things like social media have reshaped our world. It's a chain of thought that starts small, but grows larger as your mind makes connections. This process works because it engages the default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for creativity and problem solving. It's the part that comes alive when you daydream or when your mind wanders during an idle moment. That's when new ideas start to surface. Brain babbling can happen anytime, anywhere. Whether you're waiting for a meeting, commuting, or simply walking down the street, give yourself permission to let your thoughts roam free. No pressure, no expectations. Just think, connect, and see where your mind takes you. It's like giving your brain a much-needed break from the usual demands. When you return to a task, you'll notice your mind feels sharper, more creative, and able to approach problems with fresh ideas. The beauty of brain babbling is that it allows your mind to recharge. By stepping away from the task, even if just for a moment, you come back with a renewed sense of focus and inspiration. What once felt like an obstacle now seems more manageable. Now, the real question is, how do you make space for this kind of mind wandering in a world that's designed to keep you constantly busy? It's all about intentionally creating moments of pause. It can be as simple as leaving your phone in another room during meals or turning off notifications for an hour each day. This isn't about being anti-technology, but rather about taking back control over how and when you engage with it. When you start giving yourself these moments of stillness, you begin to notice something amazing. Your brain gets more creative. Imagine this. You're waiting for a meeting, stuck in traffic, or just sitting with no agenda. Instead of grabbing your phone or filling the silence, you let your mind wander. Without the constant bombardment of distractions, your brain begins to think freely, making connections and solving problems that may have been hiding beneath the surface. In those moments, you could find the solution to that nagging problem, or suddenly, an idea you never thought of before pops into your mind. The truth is, the world is designed to keep us from being bored, constantly offering new distractions. While those distractions can be fun, they prevent us from tapping into our deeper cognitive abilities, and we miss out on the creativity that boredom can provide. When we let our minds go, without any agenda, we give our brains the freedom to work in the background, creating new thoughts and solutions. The result? A burst of creativity, focus, and productivity when we return to our tasks. Next time you find yourself in a moment of stillness, don't reach for the phone. Don't fill the silence. Just sit, breathe, and let your mind roam. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but with practice, you'll start to notice the benefits. Ideas that flow more easily, problems solved without struggle, and a fresh perspective on the challenges you face. Embrace boredom. It's not a waste of time. It's an opportunity for your brain to reset, to create, and to unlock its true potential. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but I can't afford to just sit around and do nothing. In today's fast-paced world, where every minute feels like it counts, the idea of slowing down, even for a second, can feel counterproductive. But hear me out. It's exactly that constant, never-ending rush that's draining your mental energy and preventing you from reaching your full potential. You might be multitasking and feeling like you're getting things done, but in reality, your brain is stretched too thin. Think about the last time you tried to juggle multiple tasks at once. You probably switched between them, trying to do everything faster and more efficiently. But here's the catch. While you think you're multitasking, your brain is actually jumping from one task to another, burning through precious cognitive resources in the process. And in the end, you're left feeling more scattered and fatigued, not more productive. This constant shifting of attention consumes glucose and oxygen, which are the brain's main fuel. When you're juggling tasks, you're using up your brain's energy without accomplishing much of anything. That's because true focus doesn't happen when you're spread too thin. When your brain has to constantly jump between different activities, it's impossible to concentrate deeply on any one thing. Now imagine this. Instead of flipping between tasks, you just choose one thing to focus on. Your brain can zero in on it, devote all of its energy to that one task, and get it done with greater efficiency. You're not burning out, you're giving yourself a chance to actually do something well. And when you give yourself that kind of mental space, your brain can work more effectively and with more creativity. But here's where the real breakthrough happens. It's not just about focusing on one thing at a time, it's about allowing your brain to pause between tasks. This pause is critical for replenishing the energy needed for the next task. It's like taking a quick break in between exercises at the gym. The rest period isn't wasted. It's vital for better performance when you go back to your workout. Your brain needs these moments of rest and mental space to perform at its best. Have you ever had one of those moments when your mind just wanders? You're not actively doing anything, not focused on a task, but instead, you're lost in thought, letting your brain just float from one idea to another. Now, we live in a world where distractions are constant, and we rarely allow ourselves the chance to just be. But here's something powerful. Sometimes the key to unlocking your creativity, focus, and problem-solving abilities lies in allowing yourself to do absolutely nothing. It's strange, right? But here's why it works. When we're busy filling every moment with activity or noise, we never give our brains the space they need to process things deeply. It's like trying to concentrate while the radio is blasting. The brain needs silence, not just physically, but mentally, to make connections, solve problems, and spark creativity. The thing is, we've stopped making room for that mental stillness, and it's having an impact on how we think, focus, and create. Here's where boredom comes into play. Yes, boredom. It's not something we usually embrace, but when you think about it, boredom isn't empty. It's a state where your brain can begin its quiet, underlying work. In those quiet moments, your brain taps into something called the default mode network, a system that allows you to process emotions, memories, and ideas without actively focusing on anything. It's like a mental reset. This state is linked to creativity, insight, and fresh problem solving. It's a space where ideas emerge and the magic happens. Setting up a dedicated workspace can also be a game changer. Having a specific area where you only focus on work creates a mental boundary. This helps signal to your brain that it's time to get down to business, away from the distractions of home or other spaces. A clear, organized workspace reduces the temptation to check your phone or wander off into unrelated tasks. And let's talk about the power of decluttering. A clean environment isn't just visually pleasing, it actually helps you focus better. When your surroundings are free from unnecessary clutter, your mind isn't distracted by all the extra stuff. Take a few moments each day to tidy up your workspace, and you'll feel the difference it makes in your ability to concentrate. Finally, structure is your friend. Creating a routine helps bring clarity to your day and allows you to stay on task. When you have a regular schedule, your brain knows what to expect and can focus more easily on the job at hand. Routines help create mental stability and ensure you don't fall into the trap of scattered focus. By combining these strategies, minimizing distractions, focusing on one thing at a time, organizing your workspace, and establishing a routine, you can create an environment where deep focus is not just possible, but inevitable. It's not about forcing yourself into a rigid, exhausting schedule. It's about designing your life to support the kind of focus that leads to real results. In our fast-paced world, we often overlook the importance of taking breaks. You might think that powering through nonstop will get you more done, but the truth is, your brain isn't built to operate at full capacity without rest. If you've ever felt mentally drained after long hours of work, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's your brain signaling that it needs a recharge. Here's the catch. Taking breaks isn't a sign of laziness. It's actually crucial for maintaining focus and productivity. Research shows that regular breaks enhance your ability to concentrate and produce higher quality work. When we work for too long without a break, our brain reaches a point where it just can't function at its best anymore. But when you step away for a short break, your mind resets, and you can return to your task with fresh energy and clarity. Now, you might be wondering how to incorporate breaks effectively into your routine. One popular method is the Pomodoro technique, which breaks your work into chunks. You focus intensely for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After completing 4 of these intervals, you take a longer break, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. This structured approach helps you maintain consistent focus without risking burnout. The key to making breaks work for you is intentionality. Instead of just mindlessly scrolling through social media or checking emails during your break, use that time to really recharge. Whether it's taking a short walk, stretching, or simply sitting in silence for a few minutes, giving your brain space to rest will make a big difference. When you return to your work after a break, you'll find that you're able to dive back in with sharper focus and renewed creativity. But what if you're working on a project that demands your continuous attention? You might think that breaks are disruptive in that case, but that's a misconception. Even during intense focus, your brain needs brief pauses to prevent cognitive overload. Pushing yourself without breaks leads to mental fatigue, making it harder to think clearly and stay productive. Short breaks act as a reset button for your brain, giving it the chance to process everything it's taken in and prepare for the next burst of focus. So don't feel guilty about stepping away. Embrace the idea that taking a break is an investment in your long-term productivity. You'll find that by allowing yourself these pauses, your focus and efficiency will only improve. Remember, your brain is an amazing organ, but it needs balance. Rest is just as important as work, and when you find the right rhythm of focus and recovery, you'll unlock your full potential. For most people, focus is sharpest in the morning, right after the mind has had a chance to refresh itself with sleep. If you find it challenging to concentrate at times, this is your golden window to tackle the most demanding tasks. Your brain is clearer, and you're naturally more equipped to approach complex challenges with both creativity and precision. So, aim to schedule your high priority work during this period when you're at your mental peak. As the day progresses, mental energy starts to dip. That's when distractions feel more alluring and the brain craves a break. But rather than succumb to these distractions, Use this time for regular, intentional breaks. Stepping outside for a brief walk, stretching, or even taking a few minutes just to breathe deeply can restore your focus. These small breaks are not interruptions. They're essential for sustaining long-term productivity and focus. What many people don't realize is that rest is not only for when you sleep. Throughout the day, your brain needs moments of downtime to recover from continuous focus. These breaks allow your mind to process what you've absorbed and re-energize. Whether it's a few minutes of meditation, listening to soothing music, or simply sitting in stillness, these restorative pauses are crucial for maintaining mental clarity. Of course, let's not forget the power of sleep. A well-rested brain is an efficient, focused brain. Sleep isn't just about recharging your body, it's a critical time for your mind to consolidate information, restore mental energy, and optimize cognitive function. Prioritizing sleep allows you to wake up feeling refreshed, ready to conquer the day with a clear, focused mind. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule and create a relaxing nighttime routine to help signal to your body that it's time to rest. Finally, fueling your brain with the right nutrients is essential. A balanced diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins plays a pivotal role in cognitive function and focus. And don't forget about hydration. Staying hydrated is key to keeping your brain sharp and your concentration levels steady throughout the day. A well-hydrated brain can tackle complex tasks with ease and maintain mental clarity longer. Just like any other muscle in your body, your brain requires care and attention. By providing it with proper nourishment, rest, and sleep, you're laying the foundation for long-lasting focus and productivity. Taking care of your brain isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter, giving your mind the support it needs to operate at its best. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Our phones constantly buzz with notifications, emails flood our inboxes, and we're always connected to something. This constant barrage of distractions is one of the biggest obstacles to achieving real focus. We've become so accustomed to being always on that we often forget how important it is to switch off, tune out, and really immerse ourselves in a task. To take back control of your attention, one of the first steps is to minimize these distractions. Start by silencing your phone notifications. It might seem impossible, but you can set boundaries by designating certain times of the day to check your messages and emails. By creating these small limits, you allow yourself to stay focused on your task without the constant pull of distractions. Another key approach to improving focus is embracing the power of single tasking. You might have heard that multitasking is the key to getting more done, but in reality, it's a productivity trap. When we multitask, our brains have to constantly switch between tasks, which consumes mental energy and reduces our ability to stay focused. By focusing on one task at a time, you can engage more deeply with your work and get better results in less time.
Overwhelm often leads to distraction. When faced with a large project or a lengthy to-do list, it's easy to feel paralyzed by the sheer volume of work. To avoid this, break tasks down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Tackling one small task at a time makes it easier to stay engaged and focused, without feeling bogged down by the big picture. Lastly, it's important to shift your perspective on distractions. Instead of fighting against them, consider them as an opportunity to practice focus. Each time you resist a distraction, you're strengthening your ability to stay on task. Just like any muscle, the more you exercise your focus, the stronger it becomes. With time, you'll find it easier to block out distractions and stay deeply engaged in whatever you're working on. By designing your environment, setting boundaries, and using techniques like the Pomodoro method, you're not just eliminating distractions, you're actively training your brain to stay focused for longer periods. Over time, this practice will sharpen your attention, allowing you to work more efficiently and achieve more with less mental fatigue. Achieving focus is not just about pushing yourself to work harder. It's about aligning with the natural cycles of your brain. Often, we think of focus as something that needs to be constant and unyielding. But in truth, our attention ebbs and flows throughout the day. Understanding these rhythms is key to maximizing your productivity and effectiveness. Visualization is another way to sharpen your focus. When you picture yourself succeeding, whether it's completing a project or acing a presentation, you give your brain a clear image of what success looks like. The simple act of visualizing not only keeps your goal in sight, but also strengthens your mental resolve to stay on track. By imagining success, you actually condition your brain to maintain focus and stay aligned with your objectives. As you work toward mental clarity, it's essential to prioritize what matters most. It's easy to get bogged down by a long list of tasks, but knowing what needs your attention first can make all the difference. Break your to-do list into categories like urgent and important, and tackle the high priority tasks first. When you focus on what really matters, your mind stays sharp and you're more likely to stay on task. Finally, don't underestimate the power of energy management in the pursuit of mental clarity. Focus requires energy, and without the proper fuel, your concentration will dwindle. Pay attention to how your body feels throughout the day. Take breaks when you need them, eat nourishing food, and find ways to manage stress. The more energized you are, the clearer your mind will be, and the easier it will be to maintain your focus. By using these strategies to clear mental clutter, you'll begin to feel more present and less scattered. Mental clarity isn't something you just achieve once. It's a practice that helps you unlock deeper focus and ultimately become more productive. A clear mind is the foundation for sustained focus, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can cultivate for success. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, distractions are inevitable. Whether it's an unexpected phone notification or the temptation of checking social media, these interruptions pull your attention away from the task at hand. This constant barrage of distractions makes it incredibly challenging to sustain focus, especially when working on deep, meaningful tasks. The first step in reclaiming your focus is to set clear boundaries. We often underestimate the power of saying no or not now. When you're in the zone, let those around you know that you need uninterrupted time to concentrate. It might feel awkward at first, but once you establish that boundary, you'll be amazed at how much more focused you can be. Whether it's a quiet moment at home or in a bustling office, creating these focus zones can do wonders for your productivity. Designing a productive environment is another essential element. Take a moment to evaluate where you work. Is it cluttered with distractions, or is it a calm and organized space that invites focus? A well-arranged workspace can signal to your brain that it's time to get down to business. Try removing unnecessary items or sources of distraction. A clean, tidy space is not just aesthetically pleasing. It sends a message to your brain that the environment is now primed for concentration. We live in an age where technology can either be a productivity booster or a focus killer. While we rely on digital tools to enhance efficiency, it's easy for technology to hijack your attention. To maintain focus, turn off notifications and silence your phone while working on important tasks. Consider using productivity apps that block distracting websites or set timers to keep you on track. You don't have to be constantly connected to be productive. Sometimes, disconnecting is the best way to reconnect with the task at hand. One of the most effective methods for staying on task is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in a short, focused bursts followed by a break. These intervals of intense focus allow your brain to fully engage with a task, while the breaks prevent mental fatigue. By alternating between concentrated effort and relaxation, you create a rhythm that enhances your productivity without burning out. Start by cultivating a consistent daily routine. When you establish a predictable rhythm, your brain is better equipped to slip into a focused state. It's like training your brain to know what's coming next, making it easier to jump into action without wasting mental energy deciding what to do. Try setting specific times for work, meals, exercise, and relaxation. When your day flows smoothly, it's easier to get in the zone and stay there. Next, consider time blocking as a technique to increase your focus. Rather than multitasking or switching between tasks constantly, dedicate blocks of time to specific activities. Whether you're deep in work, attending meetings, or enjoying personal time, keeping focused on one thing at a time is far more effective. Time blocking reduces the mental load of decision making and creates clear boundaries for when you're on and when you're off. This approach helps your brain maintain the energy needed to tackle tasks without burning out. Another game-changing habit is the 2-minute rule. This simple strategy, popularized by productivity expert David Allen, involves tackling any task that will take less than 2 minutes immediately. Whether it's responding to a quick email or tidying up your workspace, knocking out small tasks in the moment clears mental clutter, so your mind is free to focus on larger, more important projects. It's an easy yet effective habit that removes distractions from your mental space. Equally important is the role of physical movement. Incorporating short bursts of exercise throughout your day can significantly enhance brain function and focus. A brisk walk, a few stretches, or even a quick set of jumping jacks gets the blood flowing, which helps your brain stay alert and sharp. Movement isn't just good for the body. It's a great way to reset your mind. So, make time for movement breaks, and you'll find your focus improves without much effort. And of course, don't forget the importance of quality sleep. Sleep isn't just about resting. It's a critical component of maintaining focus. Lack of sleep impairs your brain's ability to concentrate, solve problems, and retain information. To make the most of your focus during the day, prioritize a solid night's sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted rest and establish a calming bedtime routine to signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Consistent, high-quality sleep ensures you wake up ready to tackle the day with renewed energy and sharper focus. By weaving these habits into your daily life, you create a foundation where focus becomes second nature. It's not about forcing yourself to stay focused all the time. It's about setting up your brain for success with a well-rounded routine that supports sustained concentration. With time, these habits will help you unlock your brain's full potential, making focus feel effortless. When it comes to staying focused, mental clarity is key. A cluttered mind can easily get distracted, preventing us from giving our full attention to the task at hand. To unlock true focus, you need to create mental space, a kind of mental tidiness that allows you to process your thoughts without feeling overwhelmed. One way to clear your mind is by externalizing your thoughts. A great first step is to write things down. Whether it's a to-do list, ideas, or even worries, jotting things on paper gives your brain a break from trying to hold on to everything at once. The moment you externalize your thoughts, you free up your brain to focus on what's most important. You can always come back to those notes later, but now your mind is unburdened and ready to concentrate. Another effective tool is meditation. You might wonder how pausing for a few minutes can help you focus. It turns out that taking a brief mental break can help reset your mind. Meditation encourages mindfulness and intentional breathing, reducing mental chatter and stress. The calm you gain from just a few minutes of stillness gives your mind the opportunity to clear away distractions and refocus on the task at hand. And the best part? You don't need to be a meditation guru to reap the benefits. Simple techniques can have a profound impact on your ability to concentrate. Finally, remember that mindset is not a one-time shift, but a practice that requires ongoing attention. Just like strengthening your muscles requires consistent effort, developing a productive mindset takes time. Stay patient with yourself and keep nurturing that belief that you can improve your focus over time. With each step, you're training your brain to work more effectively, and that makes all the difference in achieving long-term success. Now that we've explored the importance of environment and mindset, let's turn our attention to the power of habits in sharpening focus. Our brains are creatures of habit, and the routines we establish can either boost or diminish our ability to concentrate. Building effective habits isn't just about adding more tasks to your day. It's about eliminating distractions and creating a framework that helps your brain stay on track. But a focused environment isn't just about physical space, it's about mental space too. To foster mental clarity, eliminate digital distractions. That means closing unnecessary tabs on your computer, silencing non essential notifications on your phone, and committing to a digital detox during deep work sessions. Creating this environment of focus also extends to the people you interact with. Let others know when you need uninterrupted time. Setting clear boundaries with friends, family, and colleagues ensures that when you do sit down to work, you can be fully present and productive. In some ways, a focused environment is like a protective cocoon that shields you from distractions. But it's up to you to design it, nurture it, and protect it. The more you fine-tune your surroundings to promote concentration, the more effortlessly your brain will fall into a focused state. We often hear about the importance of focus, but what's just as vital is mental flexibility. It might sound counterintuitive, but the ability to shift your thinking when necessary actually enhances your ability to concentrate in the long run. Mental flexibility is the ability to adjust your thoughts, actions, or strategies in response to changing circumstances. And it's a powerful tool in staying focused. Think of your brain as a muscle that needs to be stretched. If you always stick to the same routine, task, or problem-solving strategy, you're not giving it the chance to stretch, adapt, and grow. Mental flexibility isn't about being easily distracted, it's about knowing when to pivot and adjust your approach when the situation calls for it. It helps you maintain focus by allowing your brain to stay agile, avoid mental ruts, and engage with challenges creatively. When faced with a roadblock or a sudden shift in direction, being mentally flexible lets you take a step back and assess the best way forward, rather than stubbornly pushing through a task that isn't working. You can recalibrate and find a new way to approach it. This ability to reset your mindset reduces frustration and keeps your brain engaged without overloading it with stress. One of the best ways to build mental flexibility is by practicing creative thinking. Doing things that challenge your brain in different ways can help it stay flexible. You could take up a new hobby, solve puzzles, or try learning a new skill. These activities push your brain out of its comfort zone, teaching it how to adjust and think outside the box. The more your brain is trained to think creatively, the easier it will be for you to stay focused when you need to. Another powerful tool for fostering mental flexibility is embracing failure. Yes, you read that right. When you see failure not as a setback but as an opportunity to learn, you build resilience and flexibility. Each time you fail, you're forced to adapt your approach and try again. That's how your brain learns to switch gears and keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles appear. By practicing mental flexibility, you're allowing your brain to stretch its cognitive muscles. This not only helps you stay focused in the moment, but also keeps you sharp and ready to take on new challenges with an open mind. To truly enhance your focus, it's essential to embrace the power of mindful breaks. We've all experienced moments when our attention fades, but instead of pushing through or feeling guilty about losing focus, it's time to accept that our brains need rest. Just like a computer that gets bogged down by too many tasks running at once, our minds need a chance to refresh, to continue working efficiently. One of the most effective ways to rejuvenate your mind is through a practice known as micro breaks. These are short, intentional pauses throughout your day where you step away from your tasks to give your mind a quick reset. These breaks don't have to be long or complicated. They can be as simple as standing up to stretch, taking a few deep breaths, or stepping outside for a moment of fresh air. The key is to disconnect from the task at hand, even briefly, to allow your brain the time it needs to reset and recharge. Micro breaks are a fantastic way to prevent mental fatigue, and they're especially effective when you feel your focus slipping. Rather than forcing yourself to keep going in a state of distraction, taking these short breaks helps you return to your work with renewed energy and a clearer mind. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your brain loves anticipation. Use this to your advantage by creating rewards for yourself after completing focused work. It could be a 10-minute break, a favorite snack, or even just the satisfaction of crossing something off your list. These small incentives train your brain to associate focus with positive outcomes, making it easier to dive into challenging tasks in the future. Finally, let's talk about your mindset. So often, we feel pressure to fill every second of our day with productivity. But that's a trap. Real focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Give yourself permission to slow down, think deeply, and prioritize what truly deserves your attention. When you align your time with your values and use your energy intentionally, focus stops feeling like a chore. It becomes a natural rhythm, a flow state where you're not just productive, but genuinely thriving. Your brain is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not invincible. It needs fuel, rest, and intentional care. So, let's talk about how to nourish it, because what you put into your body directly impacts your ability to focus. We've all heard the saying, you are what you eat. But it's more than just a catchy phrase. The foods you consume fuel your brain, either giving it the energy it needs to stay sharp or causing it to crash. If you want to stay focused, you need to prioritize brain-boosting foods that provide steady energy throughout the day. Complex carbohydrates like whole grains, fruits, and vegetables provide your brain with a slow, consistent release of glucose. This helps maintain focus over extended periods, rather than experiencing those dreaded crashes that make you reach for sugary snacks. Similarly, healthy fats, like those found in avocados, nuts, and fatty fish, are essential for brain function. These fats help maintain the integrity of your brain cells, support long-term memory, and help with problem solving. Omega-3 fatty acids, in particular, are known for improving cognitive performance and focus. Then there are the powerhouses, antioxidants. These help protect your brain from oxidative stress and inflammation. Berries, leafy greens, and dark chocolate are packed with antioxidants, which can improve focus and even slow cognitive decline. But it's not just about what you eat. It's about when and how you eat. Eating regular, balanced meals ensures that your brain doesn't experience spikes and crashes in energy. Instead of skipping meals or eating on the go, create a routine that includes time for mindful eating. This way, your brain can stay in peak condition, and you can avoid the distractions that come with hunger or fatigue. Another key piece of the puzzle is hydration. The brain is made up of about 75% water, and staying hydrated is crucial for mental clarity and focus. Even mild dehydration can impair cognitive performance, so make sure to drink water consistently throughout the day. Keep a bottle near your workspace, and make it a habit to sip regularly. When you nourish your brain properly, you're not just fueling focus, you're setting yourself up for sustained mental energy and clarity. It's the foundation of maintaining a high level of focus throughout the day and staying at your best, both mentally and physically. When it comes to staying focused, your environment plays a massive role. Imagine trying to concentrate in a room filled with noise, clutter, or constant interruptions. Not exactly the recipe for success, right? The key to a productive environment is intentionality, creating a space that nurtures focus rather than fighting against it. Start by minimizing distractions. If you're working from home or anywhere where you can control the surroundings, think about how you can design your workspace to support your focus. This might mean decluttering your desk, using noise-canceling headphones, or even creating a dedicated work area. The more organized and tidy your space is, the easier it will be for your brain to zero in on the task at hand. Lighting matters more than you think. Natural light in particular has been shown to improve mood and focus. If possible, set up near a window or spend time outside to soak in some daylight. If you're in a space without much natural light, opt for cool tone, bright lighting to keep you alert and engaged. Finally, protect your focus like it's your most precious resource, because it is. Set specific times for deep work and treat them as sacred. Whether it's an hour in the morning or a quiet evening session, these blocks of uninterrupted time can transform how much you accomplish. Over time, this discipline doesn't just help you complete tasks, it reshapes your mind to thrive in a world of distractions. Focus isn't just about what you do, it's about how you prepare your mind to enter a state of clarity and purpose. One of the most overlooked aspects of achieving focus is aligning it with your environment and emotions. The way you feel, think, and even the space around you can either enhance your ability to concentrate or sabotage it completely. Let's start with your surroundings. A cluttered space often leads to a cluttered mind. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment, even if you're not consciously aware of it. If your desk is filled with distractions, papers, open tabs on your computer, or items out of place, it's like trying to work in the middle of a storm. Taking a few minutes to clear your space creates a calm environment that signals to your brain. This is where we focus. But focus isn't just external, it's deeply tied to your internal state. How often do we sit down to work, only to find our minds racing with worries, to-do lists, or yesterday's mistakes? The secret lies in creating mental transitions. Before starting any task, take a moment to breathe deeply or set an intention. Tell yourself what you're about to do and why it matters. It sounds simple, but this practice primes your brain to shift gears and fully commit. Another game changer is the power of sensory cues. Music, for instance, can be a powerful tool for focus. Instrumental or ambient soundtracks help mask distractions and keep your mind in a state of flow. Lighting matters too. Natural light boosts mood and alertness, while dim, warm lighting can make you feel more relaxed and creative. Experiment with these elements to find what works best for you. Lastly, don't underestimate the role of emotions in focus. If you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or uninspired, it can be nearly impossible to concentrate. This is where small rituals can help. A quick walk, a cup of tea, or a few moments spent journaling can reset your mood and make space for focus to flourish. Remember, your mind isn't a machine. It needs care and attention to function at its best. When your environment, emotions, and mindset are in harmony, focus becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural flow. This is where true productivity and creativity thrives. Time is one of the few things in life you can't buy, borrow, or steal more of. Yet the way you manage it can completely change how effectively you use your brain. The secret to thriving isn't squeezing more into your day, it's doing less but doing it better. Let's start with one simple truth. Your attention is finite. Imagine it as a spotlight. Wherever you direct it, that area becomes illuminated and sharp, while everything else fades into the background. But if you try to spread that spotlight across too many tasks, you end up with dim, unfocused light that doesn't accomplish much. This is why multitasking is a myth. It dilutes your attention and leaves you mentally exhausted. Instead, focus on single tasking. When you give one task your full attention, you not only complete it faster, but also at a higher quality. Think of it like sharpening a knife. Slow, deliberate effort produces the sharpest edge. Treat your tasks the same way, one at a time, with purpose. Another game-changing habit is creating time boundaries. Ever notice how tasks expand to fill the time you give them? That's called Parkinson's law. If you set clear limits, like giving yourself just 1 hour to complete a report or 30 minutes to clean up emails, you'll be amazed at how focused you can become. Deadlines aren't just for projects, they're for protecting your mental energy too. Multitasking often feels like a badge of honor in today's fast-paced world. Answering emails during meetings, scrolling through social media while eating lunch, or juggling work calls while making dinner, these habits make us feel productive. But here's the reality. Multitasking doesn't make us efficient. It makes us scattered. The human brain isn't built to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. What we call multitasking is actually task switching, rapidly moving focus from one activity to another. And every time we switch, the brain uses precious energy to reset, refocus, and recalibrate. This constant back and forth creates mental fatigue, slows down progress, and increases the chances of mistakes. Science supports this. Studies show multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. It drains your brain's energy source, oxygenated glucose, and leaves you mentally exhausted even after short periods. Worse, multitasking has been linked to temporary IQ drops. Research from the University of London found it can lower cognitive performance to levels comparable to sleep deprivation. The truth is, what feels like productivity is actually counterproductive. Multitasking isn't a strength, it's a trap. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain pays a hidden price. This phenomenon, called switching cost, refers to the mental energy required to stop one activity, refocus, and fully engage with the next. It may feel like a minor interruption, but these moments add up, draining your time and energy more than you realize. Imagine this. You're writing an important email, and your phone buzzes with a notification. You pause, glance at the screen, and respond to a message. When you return to your email, your train of thought is gone. You waste precious minutes rereading your draft to figure out where you left off. Now multiply this by dozens of distractions throughout the day. Hours slip through your fingers without you even noticing. But it's not just about lost time. Constantly shifting your focus reduces the quality of your work. Research shows that multitasking leads to more mistakes, shallower thinking, and diminished creativity. When your brain is constantly being pulled in different directions, it never has the chance to engage deeply. This robs you of the ability to tap into a state of flow, where your focus is so sharp and immersive that you're able to produce your best work effortlessly. We live in a world that's designed to steal our attention. Endless notifications, pop-ups, and demands competing for every second of your day. The truth is, the more you give in to these distractions, the harder it becomes to concentrate on what truly matters. In this age of overstimulation, learning to focus isn't just a skill, it's your superpower. In today's hyper-connected world, the rarest skill isn't intelligence, creativity, or experience. It's the ability to focus. Deep focus, often called a superpower, is about fully immersing yourself in a task without distractions pulling you away. It's the secret ingredient behind extraordinary achievements, but mastering it requires more than just willpower. It demands strategy. One of the first steps to achieving deep focus is to break free from the constant cycle of stimulation. Our brains are wired to seek novelty, which is why every ding of a notification feels irresistible. But the more we indulge, the harder it becomes to resist. The trick isn't just about silencing your phone. It's about retraining your mind to find satisfaction in sustained attention. A powerful way to do this is by embracing monotony. It may sound counterintuitive, but boredom can be your greatest ally. When you stop filling every spare moment with distractions, scrolling through social media, checking emails, or flipping through TV channels, you give your brain space to recharge. This quiet period isn't wasted time. It's where your most creative ideas and breakthroughs often emerge. Another key is to approach your tasks with intention. Before you begin, ask yourself, what's my goal? What am I trying to achieve? This simple step primes your mind for focus and gives you a sense of direction. Without clarity, your attention will naturally drift, looking for the next shiny object to latch onto.